Well, hello everybody, welcome back to the home build. Today we're going to do some miscellaneous concrete sidewalk form work. That's a mouthful. But lots of radiuses that got damaged during last week's work getting done on the house. And I just want to show you some things for fixing it and how to do it. So make this little notch. This little notch in my radius. For my radius, my masonite, just like that. I'm gonna create it right there on that 2x. So, thinking of safety, I got my safety glasses on, my earplug, my earmuffs on. I could have earmuffs. Sometimes I wear earmuffs or earplugs, just depending on what I'm wearing. But then I'm gonna cut. Standing on the correct side, I'm just eyeballing the thickness of my masonite and going on. All right, so now I got all my materials spread, got my masonite cut. I got 2 layers. Okay, need that extra just a little more so it's not ripply, gives a little more strength like it is over on this side. A radius is gonna have some strength to it just by nature of it being a radius, but still having 2 layers a little bit better. I got my 4-foot level, and yes, that level is exactly 4 feet, and that's what my sidewalk is. So I'm gonna use it as a spreader, put a stake behind it, and everywhere I need one. So that's the process, using my spreader for my stakes. So I got my 2 pieces here. Start that bend. Probably be better if I didn't have these such long screws so they don't stick behind so much. But that's good. All right. So now I'm gonna look at this other side here, because I got a line. I got my line right here that goes that way. That's also gonna be where I'm gonna snap a line for a control joint. So I'm gonna measure from where it just about touches the form, 27 inches. So I'm gonna go over here, 27 inches, make a mark. So that's where I want it nice and tight. Run this across. And what I'm after is that it looks good. So I have my sometimes you just got to stand up, look at it, compare the 2 sides, see how we're looking. And I think this is a little tighter than I want it. So move it out a little bit. How's that looking? I think I'm liking that. So before I leave this area, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mark my construction joints. So 4'5" 3/4 is what I figured down there, and each mark I'm going to go ahead and let's see, I've been using screws, so I'll use a screw, and I painted them orange so that later on when I go to pour, I know that those are designated as my construction joints and not something else. All right, so on to the next radius. Got it all stripped off, unscrewed, and I got my new pieces cut right here. This one's a little shorter than that one. It's a full 8. This one's a full 8-foot piece. I'm lining it up like this to keep myself nice and straight. So if I put my screws in here and it's crooked, it's gonna do bad things for my form and make it wavy. I'm gonna go ahead and double check. Back piece in. That way, if I gotta tip it upright when I go to level it, make sure that that's nice and good. Make sure I'm slid over to my grade where I want it. So what I did is this 2x4 here, on the beginning, I put this 2x4 in first. This established the grade for that whole section over there. I got a mark on my concrete down there at that end. It's close to level, but I got still about 2 inches of slope going outward, so that's about an 1/8 per foot. On the other side, it's probably more like 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch per foot. It's got a little more downward slope just due to the natural grade of the slope of the ground. And with this in place, it establishes all the grade there. That form over there, I ended up bringing it up just a little bit because it was down below this, and I want any water that accumulates to work its way around and go downhill. So I don't think I mentioned that in any other videos. We got that. Then I'm gonna grab my level, my 4-foot level. All right, I'm gonna see what double check what I got going on here. And like I said, it's got about, 1/2 inch and 5 feet. So it's got some slope going that direction. What I don't want is this form being kind of a dip right here. So I want to make sure I got about the same slope right here. Raise it up right in the middle. So right now it's a little bit high, which is where I want it, but I don't know if it's quite high enough. Yeah, that's about it right there. And I want to make sure that my backer, the masonite in the back, is not higher than the front. So when I'm finishing, it's not making a weird finish. So I'm back here on my step, and so this back patio is just gonna have one step. The dimension is 7 inches. So from the bottom of it to about 1 inch above my subfloor, because I'm gonna have a threshold here for my sliding glass back window. That threshold is where code starts, not your finished floor on the inside. It's gonna be right at the threshold. So from there, it's 14 inches down, and splitting the difference, 7-inch step. 7 inches is a good step. I wanted, actually, my project manager, my wife, she wanted radiuses. So trying to dream up a radius, masonite just seemed like the most, the formwork that made the most sense. Anything thicker, you can't create this tight radius. So I did have it squared off once upon a time, and then there was this hole right in here, and that was going to make it difficult to finish. So I decided I was going to chop the corners off, and then that also gives it a little support right here. Down on the bottom, I got a 45 on it, as you can kind of see right there. So when I'm finishing, my trowel can get in here good. Now that this has a 45 here, I can get my trowel in here and get it real close. Okay, once that sets up to a certain point, then I'll be able to strip it and face the concrete is what it's called. So clean up anything here, take these stakes out at that time, fill them with concrete, and while the concrete's still kind of soft but stiff. So that's kind of the process. This one, I'm gonna go ahead and raise it up first, and if I can salvage this by putting a whole bunch of screws in it, that's what I'm gonna do. This piece I'm gonna replace. It's or at least trim it down. As they were sweeping water out, they got crud all over it. You don't want that crud on it, because that's what the texture of your concrete's gonna look like, and then when you go to face it, it'll just make a mess. The concrete's gonna be in an exposed aggregate step, so that'll be another reason why I want to strip it, so I can spray it down with a release, and that sort of thing. So time to raise it up, get it where it needs to be, double check it, because people have been stepping on it. Another good reason why you want to build a form, so that it can support people, because people, they're inconsiderate at times, and they step on stuff and it moves. So build it, because a good carpenter can build it so it can withstand that type of stuff. So here we go. So I got a little 2x4 underneath it to help support it. Pulled the nails all except for kind of that back corner. That'll allow me to raise it up and then get it close. I am going to use nails, so duplex nails. They're 8-penny duplex nails, not screws, because while I'm forming, I don't want to be dealing with, while I'm pouring, I don't want to be dealing with screws, trying to get them out with the screw gun. You may have noticed that I bent them when I was pulling them. I didn't. Let's see, I want to go a little high. So right now that's level, and I'm gonna nail it off. Okay, so now that that's nailed off, I could tap it down to grade. I want a little bit of a slope, not level, otherwise it'll accumulate water. Right about there. Okay, this other one I need to raise it up. I'm gonna grab my sledgehammer because I need a good backer when I go to nail it. All right, so here's a trade tip 74. Backing it up, it puts less pressure when you're nailing. If I'm just pounding on it, it's just gonna be moving on me. I had it a little bit high, okay? So now I can just kind of tap it down, get it right to my line. That looks good. Okay, with that there, this where I want it to be, I could then go ahead and put another nail right. All right, not so bad so far. And then a bunch of screws, and I think I could salvage this. All right, now it's time to fix my screed pins. I got a string line from top of form there, nice and tight, going to this other side, and I got that one set to elevation. Okay, got my 2x4. This is a 20-foot straight 2x4. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put another string line going across here, and as well as one going across there, just to make sure, because a 2x4 that long is gonna sag a little bit. That's a long distance to stay straight. And kind of get them a little closer, maybe a little high, and tap them down to the string line. So let's go ahead and do that. This one, leave a comment down below if there's anything you can think of that either that could help me out, or that you want to see next time on one of my videos. So that's it. So see you next time on the home build.